Solarization of Nigeria is key to diversifying the nation's energy mix and reducing reliance on fossil fuels. With abundant sunlight all year round, solar power offers a clean, renewable source to boost electricity supply, especially in remote areas. This shift also supports Nigeria's commitment to sustainability, cuts carbon emission, and lowers energy costs for households and businesses. Solar energy also enhances energy security by decreasing dependence on fluctuating oil prices and grid instability. Welcome to 30 Minutes on NTA News 24. I'm Lydia Sampson. You are right in guessing that this episode is all about solar energy and solarization of Nigeria. A first report by Thomas Egbetere will take us through why solar energy is rapidly becoming a cornerstone of sustainable development, offering significant advantages in today's global energy landscape. How its significance lies in harnessing the power of the sun, an abundant and renewable source, to generate electricity and meet growing energy demands sustainably. It's over to you, Thomas.
Solar energy is fast becoming one of the driving forces of sustainable development in Nigeria. It's clean, renewable, and a smart alternative to traditional power sources that rely on fossil fuel. What makes it truly special is that it taps into one of the nature's most abundant gifts, the sun, to generate electricity and meet our country's growing energy needs in a way that is both affordable and environmentally friendly.
Solar will go a long way because it's quite, it's not like a generator that is very noisy and all that. You enjoy it, the free, from the nature of the sun and all that. So I believe solar is still much better, since we don't have this means of light any longer, electricity, NEPA or whatever. They are not encouraging us. So I prefer that solar will go a long way for us.
One of the things that I benefit from using solar system is that it saves me the cost of buying fuel from filling stations. That's one. Another thing that it saves me is the stress. The stress of going to the filling station and standing in long queues to get fuel is really tiresome. And then another thing that it solves is fuel scarcity. In Nigeria, sometimes you want to go and buy fuel, even if you have a generator, and you go to the filling station to buy fuel, you discover that there's no fuel, and what they sell at the roadside is just bad fuel that can spoil your generators. So solar system is one of the things that has improved our economy today. It's helping us do works, especially now that we're in the digital age. It helps us to work, to do our jobs effectively, helps us to freelance, helps us to communicate with clients, not just in Nigeria, outside Nigeria, and then in other words, bring back revenue back to our country. So solar system is a high five.
One, solar as it is now is expensive. That is number one. Number two, federal governments to step into the solar distance and let them, how will I put it? There's subsidize it so that an average Nigeria can be able to afford it. Because if we go into solar fully, I think we won't complain of power any longer.
I don't depend on light or NEPA light sometimes like that, because even generator that noise, I don't want it. But because of solar, fine. At least like 1 or 2 years now that I've been using solar, I've not regret of using it because it's okay.
Across the streets of Abuja, residents who have switched to solar are sharing positive stories. They say it is reliable, pocket-friendly, and keep their homes and small businesses running even when the national grid goes off. For many, solar energy isn't just about technology. It represents hope for a brighter and more independent Nigeria, where power outages no longer hold people back.
Personally, solar energy has helped me because, these poor electricity we have in Nigeria. So, for now, where I stay, either there is NEPA light or not, we have constant electricity. Why? Because of solar energy. And also, personally, I don't like noise. I hate generator noise like any other thing. So the fact that the environment is serene is a plus for me. So no noise, nothing. So there are other areas where, this solar energy has benefited us. Other areas, but personally, the electricity is a deal for me.
Solar is actually a good one. It's nice, but it's too expensive. if it's affordable, it would have been better to reduce the cost implication for electricity. The bills are too high, but the solar would have been preferable, but it's too expensive. People can't afford it.
Yes, if you look at Nigeria today, you see that solar, when you talk about energy, it's something you don't play with. Okay. Nigeria today, we are growing. As a growing nation, you need power. Okay. And power is energy. Okay. Now, this energy, if this thing is managed properly, you will see that it will boost our economy. Now, in our local areas, like my home, we are using solar because there is no stable electricity. Where I come from, our government is making sure that we go into solar power. Like in Kogi State, Imani, we have a solar plant. Now, this solar plant is connected to the community. Now, what they are doing there is to try to tell the community that you don't necessarily need electricity. You can also have power through this source, and which is solar. Now, this solar is a concept, though it's not everybody that is into it. But if the government of today will look at it properly, it will benefit our economy. It will boost Nigeria as a growing nation.
Many Nigerians also point out that, unlike fossil fuel, solar power doesn't release greenhouse gases. It's a clean alternative that helps fight climate change, an important step as Nigeria works to diversify her energy sources and reduce air pollution by investing more in solar energy. Experts believe the country is not only protecting her environment, but also ensuring a healthier and more sustainable future for generations to come.
Solar energy has affected my daily life because I'm one person that wants to wake up and have a productive day. And my dependence on our everyday power supply won't help me achieve 90% of my productive day. So to meet that need, I would say I had to switch to renewable energy, which we call solar energy in Nigeria. And how has that impacted my business? Okay, it helps me every day to be able to have a target of the things I want to achieve and be able to meet them. My workplace, there's always light. I have uninterrupted power supply because every day we wake up in Africa, in Nigeria, we have 6 to 7 hours of good sunlight. That way, my solar energy system guarantees me uninterrupted power supply during the day. And for those of us who have backup batteries, throughout the night, you can also have what? You can also have light. So I get to work in the office, I have to get back home. I'm sure that even at home I have lights because I have solar energy, and I can get to work overnight. I can get to go my designs. I can get to meet up with my clients' need the following morning in terms of pushing out my quotation, my pricing list, and my clients' designs. So that way, it has helped to move the productivity of my life, will I say, to about 90%. Because why? I can meet deadlines and I can deliver on my assignments.
On the economic front, solar energy is winning even more hearts. The cost of installation keeps dropping as technology improves and demand grows. Once set up, solar panels are low maintenance and provide free energy from sunlight, helping homes and business save money on power bills. Respondents say that this is especially life-changing for rural and underserved communities, where the national grid doesn't reach. For them, solar means independence, progress, and the chance to power their own development.
Our regular power supply will probably has met maybe about 50 to 55% of everyday need. So because of that challenge, even the government has harped onto renewable energy. If you look at organizations which I'm privileged to work with, like Rural Electrification Agency, what are they doing? They are going around now providing mini grids. We are building mini grids to the rural area. Why? Because we want everybody to have a productive lifestyle. The transmission companies are doing their best, but they probably won't be able to get electricity to every nook and cranny of the country. So that is where agencies like Rural Electrification Energy Agencies, ECN come in, and they are now trying to push in mini grids to the rural area. That's where people like us happen on the such projects, and then we're able to bid for them, win a few of them, and then go to rural areas and provide everybody with productive energy hours. Because once the woman in the village wants to grind, she needs light. The man who has a small charging station in the village wants to charge, provide charge phones for the people in his community, he has light. So we're probably working on what we call now with REA, something on solar home systems, whereby even going as little as providing solar generators to rural communities, whereby so everybody has access to basic light.
Beyond lighting homes, the solar industry is creating thousands of jobs, from manufacturing to installation and maintenance, giving the economy a real boost. As Nigeria continues to expand its renewable energy capacity, solar power is proving to be more than a trend. It's a strategic move towards energy security, cleaner living, and sustainable growth.
Energy is the smart way of living. So if you want to live smart and then reduce, for us to reduce what's called carbon footprint, then it's advisable for us, for all of us to switch that way. We reduce the cost of fuel consumption, and that way we can effectively run our business under a controlled environment, because the cost of production would have reduced. That way our profit margin will happen, gets to increase. Because if you have sunlight, what do I need? I also need the panels, I need my battery, I need my inverter, and what happen? I am good to go. So there's what we always say. There's a slogan we use, solar energy has zero maintenance cost, because I'm hardly servicing any part of my setup. It's either the batteries are good. If they are lithium batteries, they have 5 to 10 years on them. After that duration, I know that, okay, I'm planning to replace them. So I don't have to service those batteries, I don't have to service my inverter, I don't have to service my panel. So with the initial investment, which feels like it's capital intensive, but in the long run, when you look at it over 5-10 years, you see that whatever investment you put into renewable energy is minimal compared to if I had to run that office using diesel or using fuel. So in the long run, renewable energy is the future of smart living.
In conclusion, industry watchers insist solar energy offers Nigeria a powerful opportunity to grow her economy, protect the environment, and empower her people. They explain that with the right investments, policies, and public awareness, the sun could truly light the path to a brighter, greener, and more prosperous Nigeria. They explain that with the right investments, policies, and public awareness, the sun could truly light the path to a brighter, greener, and more prosperous Nigeria.
Thank you, Thomas. Now, Teresa Shonom sought more insight on solarization of Nigeria to boost access to clean, reliable solar energy across communities. She looked at how this initiative aims to accelerate rural electrification by installing solar power systems in underserved areas, reducing dependence on fossil fuel. She spoke with stakeholders on how partnership with private firms can fast-track deployment, create jobs, and promote sustainable energy use.
Millions of households and small businesses are beginning to experience a brighter future through solar energy in Nigeria. Central to this transformation is the Rural Electrification Agency, an agency of the federal government. Private installers are driving this solarization initiative to provide clean and reliable power to the underserved communities. This report takes a closer look at how agency, in partnership with private firms and skilled local installers, is lighting up lives and empowering progress.
The solarization of Nigeria is just a way of electrifying the country using the renewable resources. In our context, the country has vast natural resources which can be used, which can be harnessed to generate electricity. Electricity that is affordable, that is sustainable, and that is also reliable. So the concept of solarization came as a result of the country's way of identifying the most economically efficient way of electrifying people that are without access.
The powerful thing about solarization is its power to decentralize, like bringing power to the grassroots, like breaking off from the national grid.
Energy access in Nigeria as a whole has been very poor, but recently there has been a lot of support and ramp up to make sure that this unelectrified users, especially in the remote areas, have access to electricity.
This is far more reliable than using generator because this does not require a kind of regular maintenance like you do with generator.
Over the years, access to stable electricity has remained one of the Nigerians' toughest challenges. That narrative is already gradually changing as solar energy spreads across rural areas. The applause go to the coordinated efforts between the government and the private sectors.
The cost implication of running generator, for example, you want to power several households. If you're talking about rural electrification, it's not just a single household that will be involved. And you can imagine what it means buying generator for every household in a community. But with a system like this, you can have a central system that can serve several households within a community.
These rural areas where there is no this electricity, their consumption is very low. So it's much economically viable to now take the generation plant to these communities, build the plant, build the distribution network, meter them and provide them with the electricity. And by doing that, you take advantage of the natural resources.
You know, most of our targets is taking this solarization to communities who have productive use of energy. We preach the productive use of energy.
We are partnering with REA to deploy solar home systems to a million customers, and then also on the mini grid front, building mini grids to be able to serve larger communities.
Many believe that the Rural Electrification Agency, under the leadership of its managing director, should be greatly supported for the national efforts towards ensuring that clean energy reaches even the remotest communities.
Personally, I have not approached any government agency on such a thing before. But what I'm advocating for as an individual is to get the society enlightened about this first.
REA has the mandate of identifying these people, these communities, and providing them with electricity. The second leg of our mandate is there are also communities that have this access, but the supply is not reliable. So we also identify them and strengthen the reliability of the supply.
For the Rural Electrification Agency, the Solarization of Nigeria initiative is transforming rural electrification across the country.
Our target now is 20 million people that we are targeting to electrify in one program that Mr. President has signed, graciously approved for us, is the DES project, Distributed Access Through Renewable Energy Scale-Up project, the biggest publicly funded renewable project in the entire world. Mr. President approved $750 million that we are going to implement with the private sector, who will bring in $1.1 billion US dollars. That project alone, our target is to electrify 17.5 million Nigerians.
Experts say the success of this initiative also depends on the dedication of thousands of young Nigerians working as solar installers and technicians. They are the hands behind the lights, assembling panels, connecting systems, and keep communities powered.
We source for them to train them. At the end of the day, we train engineers, we train technicians to monitor, to maintain, and to sustain this power plants.
Reaching out to some people in government, government offices to educate them, and then, if possible, to partner with them to train their members of staff, and in extension, if they have dependents, that can benefit from this knowledge.
Operation, each mini grid would have basically 3 to 4 direct employees, 2 securities, and a local technician and a sales agent. So if we build 50 of these communities, we have 200 direct employees working in that community.
Behind the scenes, strong partnerships are driving this success. The Rural Electrification Agency works closely with the Ministry of Power and Environment alongside private firms, and international donors to expand solar access and promote sustainability.
The sustainability of our intervention is through the creation of the Renewable Asset Management Company, which the Honorable Minister of Power approved as an anchor of all the big infrastructure projects that government have deployed under the engineering, procurement, and construction concept. So this RAMCO, Renewable Asset Management Company, take ownership of this asset and invite the private sector under the operation and maintenance framework to manage the asset on its behalf.
The REA, for instance, have programs like the DES program, to encourage developers to come and give them access, expose them to financiers.
From powering small businesses to lighting up schools and health centers, the solarization of Nigeria is energizing hope across the nation. Communities that once lived in darkness now have electricity for learning, working, and living better.
The federal government now sees it dim and asks REA to intervene in some critical sectors of the Nigerian economy. So REA has been mandated, for example, to intervene in the education, and that was why we designed a program called Energizing Education Program, where we electrify universities, provide them with solar hybrid mini-grid. We also intervene in the health sectors, where we provide also hybrid mini-grid to strengthen the reliability and supply of electricity in different health institutions. We also intervene in the agricultural sector. We design even a program called Energizing Agriculture, where we identify agricultural clusters, be it production clusters or processing cluster.
For example, if you want to run the kind of small generator they call I Better Pass My Neighbor in Nigeria, on average, every day you may be running like maybe 5,000 naira. That is minus maintenance cost. Now, look at the cost of purchasing the generator itself. Then by the time you run it for just about a year, you will realize that you have spent almost 1 million or more. But there is a kind of solar energy system, very simple, that you won't even spend 500,000 naira, and that would take you for almost 10 years plus.
Community of 1,000 households, and everybody you have 1,000 generators. Everybody switches on their generator in the night. But when you have a mini grid, which is, like I said, like a local community borehole, right? It's designed to take care of their load, so there will be nobody using their generators again. You start seeing people selling off their generators, and most of generators become useless.
But of course, even if you're interested in the business part of it, your investment is still at stake. So everybody is actually on, and they are really trying their best to bring about this change.
The Rural Electrification Agency Solar Initiative is more than just an energy project. It is a movement towards empowerment, sustainability, and economic growth.
It's across, there is no single country in Nigeria that you will go, you will not see the presence of Rural Electrification Agency project, be it mini grid, grid extension, or solar home system, or standalone system. So that is how ambitious we are.
If this kind of a thing or a skill is introduced as part of the academic curriculum, if young people in school are being encouraged to learn things like this from school, by the time they are graduating, many of them won't even bother thinking of looking for jobs. Their orientation about things like this will have been different from what it used to be.
Most times they take it to another community to go and mail. Then when we bring this electricity to their doorstep, number one, is cheaper, and at the end of the day, they have something at hand. They're not just paying for this electricity, but they are also making money from it.
Right, there are stiffer requirements for developers, right, training, sustainability, even down to the requirements of your original equipment manufacturers.
With every panel installed and every partnership formed, Nigeria moves from one step closer to a cleaner and brighter future.
Indeed, many Nigerians using solar energy attest to a seamless, robust power supply. They highlight uninterrupted electricity for work and leisure, improve productivity, and reduce reliance on costly fuel generators. Solar users enjoy clean, silent power, transforming daily life with convenience and savings, fueling hope for wider reliable energy adoption nationwide. Thanks for watching. I'm Lydia Samson.